Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect across the four corners of the earth. Here again with another lesson, and it's going to be about the heathens knowing why we are in this state that we're in here today. All right, it's in the scriptures that they're going to know, right, the reason why we being beneath when really and truly we are the perfection of beauty. All right, but the heathens is going to know the reason why we are in the state that we are in here today, and that is what this lesson is going to be about. The heathen know, and the thing about it is the heathen know, but our people don't know. It's like it says in the book of Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but my people do it not know, they do not consider. All right, I believe that is how it is go in that precept, but that is just to show you that how lost we people really and truly is. And that the heathen know why we in this situation, and the majority of our people, they don't even know why they're in that situation. I'm speaking of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and the so-called Hispanics, etc. Right? Why are we in this situation that we're in here today? And the heathen know, and why the heathen know, and you don't know. You understand? So I'll start off in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 22, and verse 8. Right? I'll start at 7. And I will prepare destroyers against thee, every one with his weapons, and they shall cut down thy choice cedars and cast them into the fire. And many nations shall pass by this city, and they shall say, every man to his neighbor, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this great city? All right. So notice it's talking about, the destruction of our people, and the nations is gonna pass by. All right. And say, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this great city? Right? So the 9th verse, then shall they answer, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord their God, and worship other gods, and serve them. This is the reason why we're in a situation that we're in here today. All right? We broke the first covenant, and the Lord kicked us out of the land, right? And we ended up in captivity, and ended up being scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right? This is what happened to us. This is what the scripture is saying here. But the heathens and them know that. All right? But Israel don't know. Right? I'll read it again, Jeremiah 22 and 9. Then they shall answer, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Most High, their God, and worship other gods and serve them. This is the reason why we're in a situation that we're in here today. Because Israel forsaken the covenant. They broke the covenant, and the Lord kicked us out of the land and scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth. And we are amongst the heathen. All right? And that was for our punishment for breaking the first covenant. So let me go in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39 and 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespass against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. And didn't this happen to us? Didn't we not went into slavery? and being lynched and beheaded and whipped and hanged and burned, all right, and being chained in shackles, all right, being fed to crocodiles, right, fed to crocodiles, and so on and so forth. This happened to us, right? And the scripture also said that we are in this day yet in our captivity, so we're still in slavery, waiting for who? Yahushai to come back and deliver us from this bondage, from this torment, right? And notice it says that we were given unto the hand of our enemies. Sure, you that these are the nations, the so-called white people, the so-called Chinese, the so-called Japanese, they are your enemies, Israel. They are your enemies. But Jacob, which is in short for and it's be to say Jake for short for Jacob, and because Jacob name was changed to Israel, right? We just say that as a a slang, Jake, right? Jake, Jake don't know who the enemy is, right? They're too busy killing the self and being drowned in their iniquity and any curses, right? So the 24th verse, according to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. And the Lord did hid his face from us. We did know his name. We did not know the Hebrew, right? We didn't. The Lord take away everything, and we was like we was as we was dead, spiritually dead. We was as the dry bones, right? Scriptures compare the us unto the valley of dry bones, right? Because there was no light. We was in a dead state of mind, right? But we coming back to who we are, because the Lord mercies endure forever, right? So let me go and get the book of Maccabees, First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. It says, right, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Right? So this is what this is the wickedness of the people. All right, the scriptures, it's recorded in the scriptures the wickedness of our people and why they're in the state they're in today. All right, you want to know why every nation could set up a business and be successful when you struggling and catching your ass? It's because of the curses, right? Right, so it all goes back down to the curses. So then we go in the book of Micah. This is the book of Micah. Let's hold on. Chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Right? It says, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. So we people, they being wicked as hell. They feel they could come up against the Lord. All right? You have false prophets, you have these false pastors. The scripture say the leaders of my people have caused them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Right? Hosea 4:6 also. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And we see that. We see that today. Look at them. Right? Look at them. And the heathens, they know why we in this state. Esau, the so-called white man, the elite, who's on top, they know why we in this state. And they want to keep us here. That's why they put pork and everything, right? That's why you understand, they make it to where you will have to work 24/7. All right. You can't come and tell your boss you have a Sabbath. You could get fired, right? So the system is set up to where you cannot keep the laws 100%. And it's because of Esau, right? Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So they set it up that way for you to go off, right? The mixing the fabrics in your clothes, all right? Because we have to wear pure fabrics, all right? You wear cotton by itself. You don't mix the cotton and linen and denim, right? You don't mix those fabrics. You keep it pure, but they mix everything. Unless you're shopping vigilant and you're being picky in with your fabrics. But other than that, hey, you must have a clothes in your section where it's mixed, right? That is just to show that we are in captivity still, and that the heathen know that we have fallen because of our evil doings, and that we are to be that oh gosh, Salak, forget what I was going to say. But he didn't know why we in this situation that we in here today. All right, and the same way how they see us fall is the same way how they're gonna see us rise in these times, right? So this is just a little lesson I wanted to do. I hope it edifying. Kala Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Makakodash. Double honest the elders and the apostles are read millstone, and shalom to the elect.